Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Hootsuite webinar. Really excited to have Laurie Parish here, who is a girl who prints. I'm going to, even though it's former, I do still consider you a girl who prints, and really excited. Laurie actually watched another webinar I did about social media, and had some comments to make about interactions with LinkedIn, which I managed to parlay into, well, why don't you just come tell everybody then yourself? And luckily, Laurie made some time to do that for all of us. I have used Hootsuite ever since I started with social media. I started with a free account for the longest time. And it was only until really I started needing to expand it into the analytics and stuff like that, that I think it's $9.99 a month. It's really not an expensive investment to make for honestly, for all the time and effort that it saves. And I'm not pitching it. Again, you can use it for free. Laurie's fine if you use it for free,
Mhm.
but we really just want to spend this time and let people know that there's an opportunity to, kind of clean up their lives and, manage social media from a dashboard. So I'm going to turn it over to Laurie. Maybe you could let everybody know a bit about your history, why I'm calling you a girl who prints, and obviously what you do at Hootsuite, so that they understand how lucky we are to have you actually talking to us, and then we'll take it through. As we're going along, if you have questions, now's the time to ask them. I'll be monitoring the chat box, and should you want to ask it live, just write the word mic there, and I know that you want to be brought into the conversation. Otherwise, I will ask the questions for you, if that's okay. Thank you so much. Laurie, take it away.
Thanks, Deborah. So I love to chat and I love to talk. So thanks so much for the opportunity to talk about what I do and what I did previously. So I am an alum of Scitex. I was in print almost right out of school. So I was in print for a long time in Scitex, and then Scitex was acquired by Creo. And I did sales training and a lot of technical support at Creo. And then Creo was bought by Kodak. So I moved over to Kodak, and I worked at Kodak until 2012 when the big things happened, and I was laid off in the big bankruptcy protection that Kodak had. So I had to quickly figure out what I was going to do for the rest of my career. I took a look at doing customer success, and it's really what I excel at, which is dealing with customers all day long. So I started out in customer success in a small tech company that's very close to nearby here. And I worked there for 3 years, and then I moved on to Hootsuite. And I've been at Hootsuite for 4 years, and I love working in social media. I used to use Hootsuite, the free account, when I was not working at Hootsuite. So I was very familiar with their platform and how it worked. And now I just enjoy working with the very large accounts. I'm a principal customer success manager, the only one at Hootsuite. I was promoted from a senior just last week. So thank you. The great thing about working at Hootsuite is it's a Vancouver company. It's a very West Coast. It's very and when I say West Coast, you know what I mean. Similar to the way Creo was, very laid back, also very on the cutting edge. So we have a lot of fun at Hootsuite. Reasons why you should use Hootsuite. I think that there's a number of them. I know personally, I have 4 or 5 personal social media accounts, And when you have so many accounts, I mean, it's a pain to have all these tabs open and go in and try to look at if somebody mentioned you, or if somebody replied to one of your comments, or you want to make posts and you want to do it on a regular basis. So, I mean, you'll see my screen here. I have it set up so that I can view all of my personal accounts all in one place, all in one browser. I have them in separate tabs, and that helps me keep track of everything, make sure I don't miss any comments or miss any communications. And, frankly, I think the social media that I use the most is LinkedIn. And I have LinkedIn to thank for my last 3 jobs. So I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. And I'm on there all the time, sharing information, sharing things about what I'm doing in my career, and how my career is progressing, and my latest promotion. So I enjoy getting in touch with people that I haven't seen for a long time. For instance, when Kimberly Myers, who's on this call, came to me and told me about Deborah's webinar on LinkedIn, I was like, oh, I need to watch that. So I watched it, and then I said to Kimberly, well, I will reach out to Deborah and talk to her about Hootsuite, because she's such a big fan of Hootsuite. So that's how this got started. And then when my promotion happened this week, I also made a post on LinkedIn, and all kinds of people that I worked with in print came out of the word work to congratulate me and talk to me about my career. So I enjoyed getting back in touch with everybody, because normally in my network, I keep it fairly close, like my customers and people that I deal with on a daily basis. I don't reach out that far out of my network every day, but it is nice to do it every once in a while and see how people are doing and what they're doing in their careers, and ask them whether they're using Hootsuite and if they have any questions about it. So that's what I'm doing here. Do you want me to just dive into the platform now, Deborah? Yeah. So basically, when you log into Hootsuite, and the free account looks very much like this one. This one is actually what Deborah uses, which is the professional account. The professional account just lets you share your social networks with other users. I, on a day-to-day basis, use the enterprise account, which is much more expensive, but does a lot more things. So I'm not going to confuse you today. I'm just going to talk to you about how the free account works. The most important thing is to make sure that when you log in, when you get your free account, is to go to your account and settings and make sure that you're looking at your profile information, and make sure that you have the right time zone selected, because if you don't have the right time zone selected, then your scheduled posts are going to go out at a completely different time than you wanted them to. And nobody wants that. So make sure that you have that selected. You can put in a photo, etc. You can also change the language that you see the dashboard in. I don't know if you know that, but if you go to preferences, you can have all of these different languages, which is really awesome, because if you work in, if you're more comfortable in working in some other language, then by all means, change it from English to something that you like. So then you save your preferences, and then you go on. So what you have here when you're looking at your dashboard, the first little tab at the front is the streams. And streams is where, as I mentioned, you monitor your social networks. So I am now in my Twitter tab, which shows me all of my tweets. So everything that I've tweeted. Now, these are all test accounts that I set up, so this isn't my actual real account, but you can set up so that you can see all of the tweets that you've made and scroll through them, and then make comments in case you need to do that. And then you have your mentions. So when other people mention you, you can see them here. And then you have a home feed that you can use as well. There are a ton of other streams that you can make for Twitter, which are Twitter lists, and also just monitoring other people's Twitter accounts without actually following them, which I find really useful, because sometimes I don't like people to know that I'm following them. Um,
I use them to set up to track hashtags, especially for events and
yes,
things like that.
yes,
Also, I just want to make sure that we are going to touch upon how you even got Twitter onto this dashboard to begin with.
absolutely.
Okay.
So when you're adding your accounts, you can do them up here. So here, the first one's add a stream. So you can add a stream here, but when you very first get started, you want to connect your social networks. So when you add a social network, it's going to come up with this menu here, and then you decide which of your social networks you'd like to add. And I have all of these added, well, except YouTube. I don't have a YouTube account.
I
So
didn't even know you could add YouTube to
yes,
right now. Every time you turn this on, I learn something new. Is that new?
no, we've always had YouTube.
Oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself.
Things that are missing that I would love to see is TikTok, because I love TikTok. I'm addicted to TikTok, and Snapchat. Maybe you might want to monitor that as well, but we don't have those yet. And there's also other, social networks in Asia and Europe that are unique that we should probably add. So once you connect with Twitter or Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., it's going to come up and it's going to ask you to authorize that. So it comes up and it asks you for your native Twitter password and username. And it's going to tell you that you're authorizing Hootsuite to use your profile. That sounds scary, but it's not. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're handing over all your control to Hootsuite. So you don't need to get any anxiety about that at all. It just means that we will post on behalf of you. And we won't post anything that you don't want. So you don't need to worry about that. Once you add those social networks, you're going to see them in your accounts here. So you can manage social networks. Now, I will tell you that we connect to social networks through something called an API. And that API, every once in a while, gets updated by the social networks. So if LinkedIn does an update to their API, they will disconnect your account while they update that, and you'll need to go in and reconnect it. So you can just go to this menu here and reconnect them really easy. It's very simple.
We
Um,
actually have a question, and then I just want to make a comment. Hootsuite emails you when your networks have been disconnected or something has been updated. It's not like you don't know it. They actually tell you sometimes even before it's disconnected that it's about to be, because they want you to reauthorize just in case it's been sitting there for a while. But we actually had a question about the free account. How many accounts can you add? Like if I had 73 Twitter accounts, can I put all of those in? Can I put all? Okay. So can you put that, put some framework around that, please?
there are three, you get 3 accounts with your free Hootsuite account, which is another reason to pay the small amount for the pro, because you get more. I think I can add up to 50 on this, but the free account is limited for sure. And that's because we would like you to pay for it.
Of course. Now, is it limited to 3 Twitter accounts, or one Twitter account, one Facebook, just 3 general accounts, or
Yeah,
three
you
in
can
each
have
category?
3 of whatever social media accounts you want.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And by the way, most normal people, that's probably around the amount that they really need to manage. I mean, for any professional person, a Twitter, a LinkedIn, and Instagram or Facebook, depending upon what you do or what your goal is probably enough just to start off. I just want to, let ease people into this, not to be scared.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn connected, then you're rolling along. You're doing well. And if ever you want to drop one out, you can just remove it from Hootsuite, and then it's no longer attached. So you can manage them there in that area. Once you have them connected, though, this is when you can add streams and tabs. So these are tabs all across up here. You can have up to 10 of those. And then you can have up to 20 streams in each tab. So we give you lots and lots to look at. And we make it easy for you to engage with all of your followers by doing things like retweeting. So for instance, this Globe and Mail article, if I wanted to retweet this, I could do that really easy by clicking on this little arrow here. And I can either just retweet it right away, just automatically you'll see it go into my tweets, or I can do what we call a quote. So if I want to quote whatever the tweet says and then add my own commentary, I can do that. Or I can hit edit and it will actually pop up into a separate little dialog box here where you can add your own comment before the retweet. And then retweet it from wherever you would like to retweet it from. If you have more than one Twitter handle, then you might want to retweet it from somewhere else. So we give you that ability to do that. On something like Facebook, you're going to want to actually reply to comments and things, and you can do that here. So you can monitor all of the posts that you did, look at all the comments that people have made. You can also see if anybody's mentioned you on your page, or if there's any messages or DMs that's come in as well. And Twitter's the same. You can also manage your DMs there. I just don't have a stream made for that, but you
When
can.
you say your page, are you talking about personal pages, business pages, or both?
So Facebook is very particular about privacy after their huge visit to Congress. So they don't allow personal profiles on our site. They don't have an API for that, actually. So it has to be a company page that you monitor. You can also have Instagram. And, you know, I can view all of my posts here. I can also do a hashtag search. So similar to what Deborah was talking about on Twitter, if she wants to monitor some hashtags, you can do that on Instagram as well. So that allows you to see who's using certain hashtags. And we use this Hootsuite Life hashtag a lot. So I monitor that one.
Hey, Laurie.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I've got a quick question before you get a little bit too far. So from what I understand, and I asked Deborah this, that a free business account this is the same dashboard setup and process. What about an enterprise account? Is that setup similar? And I guess what would be, I guess there's more features. Are there more benefits to an enterprise account versus a free account for a business? Or do you recommend just sticking with a free account until you know the bells and whistles and then upgrade into enterprise?
It really depends on what you want to do. So yes, the enterprise account is set up exactly like this. The menu is exactly the same. You'll just see more details down here. There's more to look at, more menus. And you also get much more analytics with an enterprise account. Which are important, especially if you're trying to judge the ROI of the posts that you're creating. I would say that the biggest thing with enterprise is also that you get a content library, and a content library allows you to create all kinds of content and throw it in there that you can use at any time. So it's kind of like a data asset manager that you can use, which is also useful. Then also enterprise allows you to connect to other third parties like Adobe or other things that we integrate with, Salesforce, et cetera, et cetera. So there's just a lot more ecosystem and a lot more connections in enterprise.
I'm going to just,
oh, sorry,
go ahead,
Deborah,
Carly.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Carly.
Oh, okay. So just one last question and I'll mute. What would be your recommendation? So I have I work for a company, but my company has multiple brands and I post for multiple brands. So what would your tactic be for that? Because, we're posting for both brands on Facebook, we're posting for both brands on LinkedIn.
So I have lots of customers with multi-brands. Some of them are global even. So with enterprise, you can set up teams, and I would have a different team for each brand. And then you can also set up streams and tabs for each brand as well.
Okay, so if you're not ready to go to enterprise though, will you just do 2 separate free accounts for those brands? Or can you have teams in the free account too?
No, there's no teams in the free account, but the issue with not having it all in the same org is that if you need to assign comments from somebody, say somebody mentioned something on a Facebook page and you need to assign it to a different brand, you can do that within an enterprise org. If you have separate orgs, you cannot communicate between the two.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I just want to chime in here because I have a pro account and I can do everything you just said, Laurie. I can create teams. I can assign people to manage those teams. I could keep people out of other things.
Yeah.
And as I need more help, I just can the $9.99 a month gives me access and one other person. And then as I need more people involved, I believe it's another $10 a month you pay per person. So I'm not sure why we're skipping over the pro account here and going right to enterprise, because enterprise is really for like a global corporation, and the pro is really enterprise light until you kind of get up there. So maybe let's focus on pro in regard to Carly's question, if you don't mind.
Sure. And I mean, like I said, the difference with enterprise is mostly the ecosystem and the analytics. So yes, you can do all of everything I said about teams and assigning to teams within pro or team. We also have a team version as well, so that you don't have to pay to add those people for seats. Enterprise gives you the ability to have unlimited social networks. Pro is limited to a certain amount of networks. I think it's like, I don't know, 10 maybe. I'd have to look. I don't deal with pro all that much, but this is a pro account that I have here set up, but I don't do a lot of things in there. I mostly deal with enterprise because most of my customers are very large, as Deborah said, corporations. So enterprise is where I live and I play, but pro is absolutely a wonderful solution for a small medium business, definitely. Any other questions? No? All right. So I'm going to talk about posting now and using what we call the compose box to do that. So that's where you would come up here and hit new post. You can also post to your Pinterest account. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we have the ability to post to Pinterest. You can select that little downward arrow and then select what board you would like your post to go to. So if you're a big Pinterest user or you have multiple brands and you would like to show off something on Pinterest, you can do that there. Otherwise, you're going to come in here and you're going to select the social networks that you would like to post to. So I'm going to select my Twitter account, for instance. And then you're going to put in a link and you're going to put in your text into this box here. You also have like recently used social media accounts here, so you can select those as well. So if I wanted to add my LinkedIn account to this, I could select that easily by just clicking on that. And that would give me a preview for both of my Twitter and my LinkedIn. So let me just go get a link now. Let me see. I'll just use Print Media Center. Makes Deborah happy. So if I put Print Media Center's link in here, and then I add some text, you can see that it's going to start to populate in the preview. Then you can add your hashtags, etc. And those will show up there too. Now, as you know with Twitter, it's going to start counting down on the character count here so you can see it as you're typing. So Twitter is counting down from 280 and LinkedIn has, I think it's 2,000 or so characters. So you always want to shorten your links because that will give you more characters and will also clean it up and make it look pretty. So once you shorten it, it's going to shorten it to an alley link. That particular print media link is not very long, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. But if you had a really, really long link, it just makes it look so much better and doesn't take as many characters. So you can also customize the preview that you're using. So if you wanted to put another image in here, you could do that. We also have a media library, which I showed Deborah last time when we were on the phone and she loved. So if you open your media library, we have a bunch of free images here that you have access to. These are all royalty-free images. And if you do a search for those images that you want to use, you can use any one of these at no charge. So let's say we wanted to throw.
I can't believe you could change the preview image. That's
You
amazing.
can.
Every damn time you get me.
You can also edit the image, so you can do overlays on it. I'll just show you what that looks like. We have like a little, it's like a Photoshop mini in here, which allows you to crop the image. You can add filters, so you can crop the image if you want it to be particularly for Facebook, Twitter. So, you know, let's say we wanted it to be 2:1 for Twitter. This just saves you the time of going out into Photoshop, saving it, going back and adding the image again. You also, as I said, you have filters, focus. So if you want to, you know, blur something, you can do that. You can also adjust the lighting. You can also do text overlay, which I love too. So once you save that, it's going to show up in your preview just the way you did it. So I close my media library and you can now see I have this image that I've cropped here and put a text overlay on. You can always go back in and edit it again, etc. Now, if you are working in Canada, which I am, we have a lot of rules around accessibility for the impaired, especially for people who are hearing impaired or sight impaired. Sorry, more for sight impaired. You can add alt text, so you can add a description of this image. So if you can say this is a book about blah, 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 and apply that, and that will actually be read to the person who's sight impaired so that they can understand what the image is that you're posting. I highly suggest that you do this for people. It's a nice thing to do. You can do this natively in Twitter as well, but we also provide it for Facebook and LinkedIn too through Hootsuite. You can also add location, especially for Twitter. So you can put your location in here. You can also, so if you're from Mississauga and you want to make sure people know your location. And now you're ready. You're ready to send these, either post them now to your social channels or schedule them for later. So I'm going to schedule them out to, let's do Saturday at like 7 a.m. So I'm going to schedule 2 posts here.
And just to confirm, we're going to delete those so a Bible and Print Media Center don't go out in the.
Yeah, I'm not going to post those.
Okay, just making sure.
And I will show you how you delete them. How's that? So you're going to go down here to the second tab on your menu, which is your publisher. Now this gives you your calendar view of everything that you have scheduled. And you can see I have a few things scheduled here. I have your women's print mentoring here. I might actually let that go. But these ones, you can pick them up and you can move them. So if you want to move them to a following week, you can do that. You can also, if I want to move them up here, let me move the time. If I want to edit them, I can double click on them, and then I can come back in here and change anything that I need to change before it goes out. And then I can also click on the 3 dots here. I can move it to drafts, which is great if you decided to make a post and you realize that that post is maybe tone deaf for a situation, like, you know, things are happening that are, you know, this post is going to look really bad if you let it go. Just move it to drafts and then post it again when the timing is better. And you can find your drafts. I'll show you where you find those in the content section. You can also duplicate your post. So if you want to send it again at some other time, you can duplicate it and then put it into your calendar somewhere else. I would be careful with that with Twitter, because Twitter has very stringent restrictions around spamming people. So just change the wording slightly if you're going to do that, and then they'll let it go. So that's my hot tip to you. Or you can delete it. So I'm going to delete this message. This one I'm going to move to drafts so you can see where that goes. And when you go to drafts, you go to content here, and here's all your drafts. So you can always pull those drafts up and put them back into your planner at any time. So just double click on them. You can also duplicate them and trash them too. You can also see all of your scheduled posts and your past scheduled posts here as well, which past scheduled is always good to look at. In the calendar view, it's always going to look like it's faded out, so you can see which is live and which has been posted already. But here you can see all the past ones. And then you can also, if you have a team, make it so that it's required that you approve those posts before they go out. So you can set up approvals so that if somebody on your team is posting, but you don't quite trust them to actually get everything right, and you want to check it before it goes live, then set in a requirement for all their posts to be approved. And you can do that in the admin function very easily. And then you can also reject them as well, approve them or reject them. Is there any questions about scheduling and planning at all? I think this is probably the biggest time-saving feature.
There wasn't a question, but perhaps you can review the document that you can download, and the Excel document that you could download to upload. Can't you still do that?
For bulk
For bulk scheduling, yes.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I think it's really important. And just to put some language around it, you can write shares on your computer instead of in the native social media platforms, and plan for a week, plan for a month. If you know that you have a rollout or something like that, and Hootsuite makes it very simple, as Laurie's about to show you, that there's a template that you can download, and I guess you might as well tell them about it instead of me.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull up the bulk composer, you can download an example, which gives you an Excel spreadsheet that shows you exactly how you need to input all of the data for your post. And then once you save that, then you can upload it here. So you're going to select it, and then you're going to tell them which of your social networks that you want to publish those posts to, and they will be scheduled, because the parameters in this example include when you want those to be scheduled to go out as well. So,
and then basically what happens is the view that Laurie just showed you before, that calendar, it will show you all the posts that you have uploaded in the position. And then that is the time to make sure that your AMs and PMs are correct. I've had that happen to me a million times. I've got posts going out 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I made that little mistake. But other than that, it is a ridiculous time saver, because you can be, jotting down tweets while you're waiting for something, somewhere, or doing something else. You don't have to be in the platform. And it really is a significant time saver.
It is.
And it's not complicated to follow their template either. They make
no, the template is very straightforward.
You just literally put your information where their information was and repeat.
Yes, very simple to use. I think the other menu in here is the promote menu. I know Deborah uses this. So this is for attaching your Facebook or Instagram accounts, business accounts to, so that you can boost organic content. That gives you a little ad so that you can get more eyes on it.
Sorry, when you
Yeah.
say organic content, just so they know, it's stuff you posted. You can't boost somebody else's post.
That's correct. Only your organic content. That's absolutely true. We do have a ads component to enterprise that allows you to create ads from scratch. It's really great because you can do all kinds of A/B testing in it, and it takes seconds as opposed to fiddling around with it for hours. But boosting is also a really great way just to get your content up there and in everybody's face. We also do boosting for LinkedIn, although we call it sponsored content. We don't have ads for LinkedIn, but we do have boosting or sponsored content. So keep that in mind, that you can also get more people looking at your LinkedIn posts as well. You can automate the promote so that if your organic content reaches a certain threshold, like you're getting, thousands of likes, it will automatically boost it. Or if you want the reverse and it's not getting enough likes, you can automatically boost it. So you can set up all those parameters in your promote. It works really well. I'm going to move on to analytics. The analytics are mainly for tracking all of your specific needs for ROI on your posts. So this is going to give you, and I'm looking at a mixed overview here, so I can see the number of fans and followers that I have on all my accounts. I can also see what the growth is. I can look at the posts, how many posts I did, how many tweets I did, etc. And all of this can be exported. You can change the dates of these reports, so you can make custom reports. You can make them look any way you want. You can put your logo in them. I think that's enterprise only, but I'll have to check. When you change the dates, you can also make it so that you're comparing one date to another. So if I'm looking at the last 7 days and then I'm comparing to the 7 days before that, that shows you the blue line is current and the black line is your past days before that. Then you can set it up so that you can schedule this to be emailed to you on a weekly basis. I think we emailed them out on Mondays. Or you can just export them yourself. You can export them as a PDF or a PowerPoint. The Excel is for the business plan or the enterprise plan.
Now, this is an add-on and it is not inexpensive, but it is worth it. I think it's maybe $60 a month, or do you know how much it is?
Sorry.
It's somewhere around there, but this does not come with any account. You have to add this. I can't speak for enterprise, of course, but it does not.
It comes with enterprise.
It does not come with the pro account. The pro account, this is an add-on for. However, if you have clients that you're doing social media for, you have to have this. This is what keeps everybody quiet. And you can't really tell from yours. I think after we finish, I'm going to scare them and show them my Hootsuite, which is in full operation, so they can see what it looks like. But like the sentiment is really interesting too, to show clients that people are happy about the post, or neutral, or maybe not so positive. Although you do need to research why that is, because as Laurie and I discussed previously, the social media algorithms, or whatever it is that puts to sentiment, don't recognize emojis. So if somebody puts a heart emoji, it could actually count as a negative sentiment, even though it's not true. So when that happens to me with people I'm helping with their social media, I just show them the post and say, this is, because it'll literally say on this day you had a negative sentiment or something. You can trace it back. It's very, very, very handy, comprehensive, and gives people a lot of information about what, if you're managing the account, what you're doing for these companies, and if you work for the companies, what they're pretty much getting from you doing that as well. And it gives you performance parameters, like, do my post do better on Wednesdays? Do they do better on Thursdays? Do they do better in the morning? Do they? I mean, there is a ridiculous amount of data that you can extrapolate from these two swervy lines on this report.
Mm-hmm. And we even have a more advanced analytics package that goes with Enterprise that is for paid as well as organic content. So you can analyze your paid content too. There's lots, we have no shortage of analytics on Hootsuite, that's for sure. There's lots of them. We have a whole metrics library that you can peruse so that you can see what each metric means, which might be helpful. You can find that stuff if you come down here to these tools. Oops. Click on the tools. All right. Oh, you don't want to do that now? There we go. So we have education, and the education is where you're going to find all of the Hootsuite Academy videos. You can get certified in Hootsuite. We have several courses, some of them in just social media in general, some of them on the basic techniques of using the platform, and then some of them on social selling. So we have lots and lots of free, they're all free. You only have to pay if you want to be certified as a Hootsuite user. So I highly advise you to watch any of our videos. It's something that we update constantly. We're always making new videos. Also, in tools and help, you can also find that product help. You can also chat online with our lovely support advocates. We have people standing by who are waiting online to talk to you if you're having any problems with Hootsuite whatsoever. But the product help is where you're going to find the metrics library and the database, and you can also find what's new. So everything that's what's new in the platform is on a special website that we have. But if you want to know how to do anything, you can find articles here that will tell you exactly what to do. But the metrics library is very cool. Because it gives you a little bit of an education into what those Twitter metrics mean, in case you don't know, what really is engagement. So it is the sum of interactions received for the tweets that you published in a specific time frame, and etc. So there's lots of them here, and you can read on. So we'll tell you exactly what every metric means. The Academy is also really useful if you just want to learn how to use the platform. You can do that. So here's all the courses. As I said, the videos are free. So learn how to use Hootsuite. And here's everything that you'll learn. Here's some new chapters that we just added. So as I said, we're always adding things because things are changing so fast in social media. So just publishing fundamentals and some of the things I showed you, all here and all in video, and then learn how to succeed at social marketing, etc. Those videos, you can watch them. And I also have some coupons. If anybody's interested in being certified, hit me up. Just because you attended Deborah's webinar, I'm happy to give you a Friends of Valley coupon so that you can go ahead and get certified in Hootsuite. So that's my treat to you guys. Deborah can provide you with my email address, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just laurie.parish@hootsuite.com. So you can find me there. So you can watch the videos, and you can also take the paid courses for free. Anything else that you'd like me to go over? Does anybody have any specific questions about Hootsuite in general, or how we interact?
Nobody's typed a question, but everybody's free to turn on their video and their microphones now if you
Oh,
want to chat with Laurie. And Laurie, if you close down your screen, I will show them my screen because I have I have an active accounts in there, and you could see other ways of setting it up. But please feel free to talk to Laurie while I'm doing this. Yes? No? Somebody talk to Laurie.
Chandra, you have a question. I know you do. Come on.
I'm logging into Hootsuite so people can't see my password without sharing my screen. Oh, I was already logged in. Logged in. Never mind.
Yeah, so I've got one question for you. Thank you, Laurie. It's Melanie here too.
Oh, hey, Melanie. How are you?
Good, good. So, Melanie's got her stuff she needs to manage. I've got my personal stuff I need to manage, and I've got work stuff I need to manage. What package would you recommend for us?
Oh, you guys should just get 2 free accounts. And then you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show my Hootsuite, which is a little more robust than Laurie's. These are either accounts I own or I'm following or I've made streams for because I'm interested in what they're doing. For example, Candidate Solutions America, I've been working with them a long time. They have their own hashtags. I'll put their company hashtags in there as well, just in case somebody's not tagging. In this case, I also follow Rico. And everything they're sharing here, I only have it set up for Twitter. I don't know if I could track it on, can I track their Facebook page or anything like that? No, right?
Yeah, sure you can.
Oh, could? Oh, see, learn something new. In this case, for example, this is like here's my LinkedIn. Oh, look, Laurie, there's you. Here's my LinkedIn, my Facebook business page. I don't connect anything here with personal. Instagram, my company page. Oh, there is my personal page. My company LinkedIn page. Let's see, what else am I looking at? I just make literally a stream of the hashtags that I'm interested in. Some of these have to be updated, of course, because there hasn't been any events going on. But I can do a million things from here, but one of my favorite things that I can do, especially during print chat, which is, so this entire screen is only print chat going on. Question, these are the tweets I've shared. This is the hashtag. This is everybody talking about it and things like that. But if I want to actually take this tweet and tell everybody, I can actually do it here. Yeah. So here I am. I'm going to tell everybody that I'm doing a webinar with AP Tech on June 9th at 1:30 in case anyone's interested. And I've already sent it from Print Media Center. Twitter is not, first of all, you don't retweet yourself, but if I was just to put the same information in there on the same day or whatever, Twitter would be upset with me and it won't let me do it. You can do it spread out, but it's a pain in the neck. So here I can go into Girls Who Print, and I just tweeted from Girls Who Print, and I can go into my Print Pro. Oh, I accidentally just retweeted it from that, but I can go into my Print Pro account. And now I just tweeted it from there. And if I go into that stream, here's my tweets. There's my thing. Look, I'll like myself. I mean, you can see that in the span of 10 seconds, I've sent things out in multiple social networks. And I can also, the posting is, I do it this way, and you select your social networks, and as you can see, there's lots of options. But to Laurie's point, you can't double up on Twitter. You can, but I can send it to Print Media Center Twitter, Print Media Center Facebook page, Print Media Center LinkedIn, if I so choose to do that. Personally, I customize for each platform a little more than that. A tweet is very recognizable when it's not a tweet being shared in other places, but Facebook and LinkedIn is completely the same to me, other than the use of hashtags, which you don't really use on Facebook. But even with those subtle differences, which most, let's say, civilians would never even realize, this is the only way I can function. I log into my dashboard. Everything I need to see is here. And only if I only really go into LinkedIn to engage, because it's a little more difficult with the comments and switching around and things like that. So, but I mean, I operated on a free account for, I don't even know how many years, so many years, until this became my world. And again, $10 a month is nothing. The analytics cost a little more money. Where are the analytics? They cost a little more money, but let's do a LinkedIn overview, because I know I always do good on LinkedIn. But on you can see that there's a lot of information that you get here. It's telling me the days my posts did better. Now, mind you, I'm connected to 30,000 people, so when it says engagement is down 63, it's not, it's not a normal measurement in my particular world, because my numbers are a little different. But it'll tell me from last month to this month how many more, I guess these are followers. How's that even possible? It's not even counting the right number. I've got 30,000 followers, so it's not accurate in that sense. But I think everybody can understand that. Wait, I haven't even seen this. What is this, Laurie?
This is the post table. So it shows you the
shows you all
posts
the
that you've
posts.
done, and then it tells you how many reactions and comments you've had on each post.
So when you go in here and you want to say, oh, look, on May 30th, people really engaged with my post. What was it? I can go here and find it, and then maybe use that as part of my social media marketing strategy. Why is it saying I only have eight? This is upsetting me now. Why is it saying I only have 8.4 thousand followers when I have almost 30,000?
You might not have all of your social networks connected. Like which LinkedIn account is this for?
Oh, never. Okay,
yeah.
All right, we'll worry about my personal problem.
I'm very impressed, by the way, Deborah. I think you should come work for us.
Really? Well, I live on this platform. I literally, without Hootsuite, I could never have become me. And I was thrown into it. And when it first came around, I was like, thank God there is some way to manage this in one place. I only have to log into this platform a couple of times a day, although I keep LinkedIn up at all times, because that's something different going on right now. There was a time I only had Twitter up all the time, because I wanted to be able to do different things in the native platform quicker without going through a posting process or anything like that. But honestly, I mean, when Laurie said she was willing to do this webinar, I couldn't even believe it, because it's first of all, it's free, so no one's trying to sell anybody anything here. But what I'm trying to sell you on is the convenience and the transparency of everything that's going on.
Yeah, and we haven't even really talked about why you should be posting and what times you should be posting. And there's just so much to making yourself a thought leader in your industry, in terms of posting on LinkedIn. I usually post at least once a day on LinkedIn, and I try to do it on Sunday evenings, because that's when I find most people are on LinkedIn, actually. I don't know why that is. I think they get bored on the weekend, and by Sunday night they're like, I need to look at some work. I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, I've actually found, I used to find that I used to call Sunday night around 7:00 happy hour on LinkedIn, and I believe it was because people were starting to get into oh God, I got to go back to work tomorrow. What's going on? But Corona has really changed that a lot. And for me, and you can see the amount of posting I do, I have to assume it's more than you. And because of that, I have found that that is not the case anymore at all with social media in general. It is dead on the weekends. Nobody is on social media on the weekends. As well, Friday has become, well, it's 5 o'clock. I might as well stop working at 4 o'clock. Well, it's 3 o'clock. It's close enough to 4 o'clock. So Friday has been becoming tumbleweeds earlier and earlier and earlier. Now I'm finding that if you really, really, really want people in North America on the East Coast, which is that specific, to see your post, you had better get it out on LinkedIn by 11:30 in the morning or you're done. After 3 is iffy. Maybe you'll get some people who are checking at night for some reason, but most people who are not back in the office are looking at it all day long, and they don't have to commute home. They don't have to wait for anything. And when they're done at 5 or 4 or whatever time they feel their day is ended, it's ended. Get them in the morning. Same thing for Twitter. Europe, I haven't cracked that nut yet, but I'm just targeting everybody in the morning until people are actually commuting home again. Then to your point, Laurie, 7, 8 o'clock on LinkedIn was always the sweet spot. I rarely posted during the day. There was no point. Everybody was working. They were at meetings. They were not looking at social media, but after dinner or on their way home or right around that time, everybody was online.
What an interesting change for social.
It was a massive change, massive. I mean, again, by virtue of my network, I'm in a different situation than people. Most of the time I will log into LinkedIn and I can see anywhere from 50 to 174 notifications, for whatever reason, people commenting, people talking to me, whatever it might be. Couple of times these past couple of weeks I've logged in, there's been 2 notifications. I mean, enough to the point where I was like, let me go back and make sure I didn't do something that was so incredibly tone deaf or alienating that I've got 30,000 people who now are on the, cancel Deborah Corn hashtag,
You're trending on Twitter.
Right, I'm trending as cancel Deborah Corn. But it hasn't happened, thank God, and it wasn't me. It just happens that at 4 o'clock, no one's on there anymore. So I've stopped taking it personally, but I did put a lot of research into when are people going to look at these things. Yeah. Also, a lot of people are, sharing Zoom information now, meeting information now. Too far out, not a good idea. It gets lost from their ecosystem. I would say your best bet is start about 3 or 4 days before. I know that makes people nervous, but really you want to get them to do that click and commit right then and there, and then maybe just show up an hour later because now they know they can really do it. The longer time I've been giving for meetings, the less people I have actually had in attendance, unless, of course, I've got my grateful partnership with the industry organizations helping me push things along. So, yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? I mean, I'm not the Hootsuite person, but I can answer social media questions in regard to anything that, I just kind of touched upon as well. Mm-hmm. Any questions? No questions? Anybody?
I will say that in March we had a massive uptick in number of posts published out of Hootsuite when the virus first started and people had to stay home. But things have come back to normal levels almost now. So the platform's not quite as busy, but still busier than normal. I guess, people are working from home and they're posting more.
They're definitely watching, whether or not they're engaging with your posts or anything like that. There are more lurkers, which is what I call them, online now. And how do I know this? Because I get messages about things that is, which would just really surprised me, like from CEOs of global corporations. Oh, I was paying attention to print shot. I was like, what? Like I'm glad shouldn't you be running a global corporation instead of doing that? If you were an artist, where would you start posting? I mean, Instagram is my first thing there. However, you can't share links on Instagram. So you just have to, you can, Laurie?
You can put them in your bio.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
so if you're going to, if your goal is to have people go somewhere else, you have to put that link in the bio and kind of include that in your messaging somehow. So it's not a place to really share links or direct traffic. Facebook might be better for you there, but it probably depends upon your demographic, who you're skewing. Go ahead, Laurie.
I have copywriter friends who use LinkedIn for that all the time. They
For an
share.
artist?
Yeah.
Melanie, what kind of artist are you? Oh, it's your friend?
An amazing artist. I
What
think.
kind of artist is she? Well, so then recommend it for what should she use? I don't see many artists on LinkedIn, and when they are, it's not. You're kind of like, why are you posting that here?
It doesn't look very organic. Yeah, it looks like they're really lost. Like you were supposed to be in the room 2 doors down, right? You just leave right now. You take your airy fairy ways and go.
That's true. Facebook's probably where you get the most traction, I imagine.
Yeah.
And I see your posts on Facebook all the time.
Yeah. The other thing about Facebook, it really is the gift that keeps on giving. And as much as I don't even feed the Facebook beast, to tell you the truth, only when I really want to, all right, that's not really true. I do have automated tools that post on Facebook on my Facebook business page in a very sporadic, maybe once or twice a week, just so Facebook doesn't think I've abandoned the page and I stay in the algorithm. But oh God, I completely lost my train of thought.
Well, I used to own a cupcake company. Chandra and Melanie will tell you. So I used Facebook for that. My Facebook business page is where I did all my business for cupcakes. But I mean, I didn't use LinkedIn at all.
No. And I'm sorry, I remembered I was going to say about Facebook, just to wrap it up. With that minimal amount, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't engage on it. I mean, if I could get rid of it, I would, but I can't at this point. I don't really engage on Facebook. And when I look at my Google Analytics, every single month, the largest referrer of social traffic is Facebook. Every single month, and I do nothing. And then you would say, well, why don't I change my strategy and pump it into Facebook? I could probably have a ton of traffic on my website if I did that. I just don't. I don't know.
You don't think about it. Yeah.
I got lost. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My okay. I used to have a website with a lot of artwork. It was all conceptual artwork. You can't sell that stuff. You can get, gigs teaching at universities, but that's really all you can do with that work. And I started that website back in '99 and built it myself. And then I got hate mail from Google because it was so outdated. I had 4,000 items on it.
Wow.
And so I have this monumental amount of artwork that's really not all that saleable. And then in the last 5 or 6 years, I've started making art again, more tangible works, but there's still more luxury end of the market. And so don't want to be selling $30 earrings to individuals. I'd rather be selling through Paragold, through the luxury, and directly to architects, landscape architects, designers. I've broken that down into 6 different market segments. But I absolutely do not want to be dealing with customers face to face. The closest I would get to that is if I go into the art gallery market, but I don't even know if I want to do that because they're just, it's a strange place. But I really don't know where to start. I'm just like, I just don't even know where to start.
Targeted Facebook ads.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You can drill it down to demographics of people that you believe can afford your products and services and where they live.
You can also do
specifically.
that on LinkedIn as well, by the way.
But LinkedIn costs a freaking fortune
No,
compared to Facebook.
in Hootsuite, you can do it for free.
Promote ads in.
Laurie?
No, you can target your LinkedIn post to a specific audience.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking I could go after real estate developers that already have an art market, an art budget that they have to across the city. They have to spend 30,000, 40,000 on art to get their building approvals. And I also have construction degrees and art degrees out the wazoo. Sorry.
Laurie, can you put your screen on and show everybody how to target
Here was
LinkedIn audiences so I can learn, please?
So let me.
I can't believe you can do that. That's amazing.
You can. So let me just get back into
This is the most amazing thing I've ever. So you could just if there's printers on here, for example, you can target designers, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can also target industries.
Is this available in free as well as pro, or is this if this is only enterprise, and don't even show us because I'll be
I'm looking
heartbroken.
to make sure that you can. Yes, you can do it in. I don't know if you can do it in free, so I can't.
But you can minimal do it in the $10 a month one.
Yes, minimum.
Okay, Jan,
So here's your industries.
that's the answer. Jan wants a coupon too. Jan, I'm getting you a coupon. You said share.
Coupons are good. So yeah, so you're gonna look at whatever, let's just say.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you have to have at least 300 followers on your page, but I mean, most people
Oh,
do.
wait, hold on. Is this only for business pages or is this for personal accounts too?
No, this is for your LinkedIn company page.
Okay.
So you're going to have a company page for your art or your business.
Okay,
And
I
you're
hear
going to
you.
target your post towards specific audience members, and you're going to do it for free right here.
Amazing. So yeah, that's a perfect way to find architects and architect landscapes, designers. Sorry, landscape architects. That's what you had said.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, create a prospect list from it.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
In Hootsuite Enterprise, you can create audiences. We have a shared partnership with LinkedIn that allows us to download those audiences that view those posts, and so you can target them over and over again. So I mean, I don't know, it's another reason to go with enterprise if you're using if you have a big company.
I aspire to be a global corporation just to do that. Does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I know we've gone over. I want to be mindful of everybody's time. If not, there will be a recording. It will be shareable, obviously, pretty shortly. I'll send that out to everybody who registered on the list, as well as post it on LinkedIn. Follow Laurie Parish on LinkedIn. That's your best bet. And from there, she can branch you out into her other social channels. And I just want to really thank everybody again for attending. We know that your time is valuable and really appreciate that you have chosen to spend this hour and 11 minutes with us. Thank you guys so much. Laurie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thanks everybody. It's been fun. So fun. Thanks.
Unmute. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Deborah. Oh my gosh, this was the best thing that's happened in months and months and months and months and months. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excellent. That makes me so happy. Okay, I'm going to end the movie. Okay, I've lost my mind. I'm going to end the meeting now, and everyone also has my email address. If I could be of any help, just let me know. Thank you so much. Print long and prosper, or as I say with social media, share long and prosper.